We are continuing the show with Velislav. Now he's going to present really great things. Uh, I don't know exactly what, but I have met him 20, no, 22 is too much. Okay. Long ago. We were so little. And yeah. And basically, we've lost touch, but now Levent is the connection. And I understood yesterday or 2 days ago he's going to present. So no further ado. Are we on with the streaming? Streaming is on. And now the microphone comes to Velislav. And best of luck.
Thank you, Nikki. Good evening, everybody. As Nikki said, my name is Veli, and we were doing interesting stuff with Big Brother Levant.
Is it my turn now?
25 years ago, yeah. Salesforce people.
Yeah, just hold the microphone.
Yeah, okay. So you can, change. This is my book. Everybody's writing some paper books, and this was my first booklet 30 years ago. And everything started, it's the same stuff, cloud computing and Salesforce and Google search engine optimization, content management, SAP, blah, blah, blah. 30 years later, again, the same stuff, creating positive spaces, but with more sustainable and eco-friendly sensory worlds for escaping the rat race, like digital nomads. So you dream for a perfect home environment because you stay always indoor in a cubicle, or you are disconnected and uninspired by your home. Everything is boxy and edgy and smells like stinks of melamine, formaldehyde, and other furniture stuff. So we embrace all kind of curves, like electromagnetical curves and mechanical curves in every element we do. And we separated all products in different brands. So we have HD and furniture and spa rooms and art and sculptures. And then, then comes all the image generation and large language models who work for us, finally. And then you get a team with bots and custom trained GPTs. One is the boss, the other is the manager, the third is the supplier from Europe, Alibaba, or whatever does it takes. So everybody loves curves. It's in Art Nouveau, Art Deco, etc. And the forms are more structural, more unique. This one current project for a house in Yambo by our architect partners, LSPD Studio Sofia. And we do the glass walls, the furniture, you see some desks and motor homes already also, because digital nomads, they love to live whatever they want. And these are just the type of smart panels we produce with integrated PV features, and climate control, privacy control, colors. And this is a facade, and then smart windows, art windows, mirrors, lamps, etc. So if you are bored of flat, edgy furniture, as we talk, flat-packed furniture, and you have a dream for something more natural and parametric or generative, we can work together. Yeah, you can slide there. Different types of smart elements for the interior. They have sensors and light waves and sound waves and all kind of waves. That's why the project is called Art Waves. It's not and then we do digital signage, adaptive networks on 5 continents. And here comes the page down, yeah? Okay. So there's a totems kiosk for the big guys like Dubai, Oman, European Parliament, etc. Once more. And the children play musical instruments. They paint on the surfaces. We do also self-sustainable photovoltaic terminals. They work without electricity. And somebody wanted a curvy Van Gogh van. Yeah, you got the point. Everything is curvy now. No more boxy cubicles. And here comes the last slide. Well, these are key benefits if you are selling those kind of stuff to rich guys, or you can do it without any budget. We do zero budget, eco-friendly. We put flowers or natural oils. You know, the diffuser smells, and you are sustainable. Now, it's fully customized to the client with a configurator. I want a big guy, or I want a sports car, etc. And we have smaller machines, but there are water jet, CNCS. Genoveva told us that everybody wants a big machine or a smaller one. But we do big things. Yeah. And if somebody is good in Rhino, Grasshopper, or I don't know, other parametric stuff, you are welcome to our collaboration, let's say. Everything is in the cloud, and we just click up, and the concept is known already. And happy spring to every dream catcher. This more curvy stuff. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So for all speakers, can we just have the space left to the yellow line, because the cameras here is set up. So the next speaker is
the daughter of my landlady.
Okay. Margaret Traikova.
Margaret?
Okay.
She kicked me out of her house. She will tell you why. And she's not taking care of the street.
Good evening, everyone. It's a real pleasure and honor for me to be with you tonight. My name is Margaret Traikova, and if you decide to build a big, new, large house close to the Vituša mountain, then our paths will cross, because I work in municipality as an architect. But today I'm here to tell you about something way more creative and way more interesting, about a joint project with Austrian architects, bus architects and Akarion, and about our successful common goal in increasing the Bulgarian society knowledge about the Green Deal. So I will present to you one very nice new 3D program and software that together with them created new places, and we made changes connected to the Green Deal, specifically about streets and place and square spaces and buildings here in Sofia. So we created a hybrid workshops all along the way of 1 year, and we met each other online. And in these meetings, my work was to bring together politicians, professors, NGOs, architects and engineers, and business industry. And we together to discuss the changes that are upcoming in the next decades, and what is going to change in our everyday life, in the new buildings, in the new way of green life, of more sustainable future. And in the last meeting, it was actually the most interesting one, we were discussing what municipality can change in the politics, how we can create better places with increasing landscaping, with increasing the green areas, with more functions on the rooftops. So maybe there is a technical problem, but I will go through very fast with it. So Urban Menus is this 3D program, and it's measuring our quality of life connected to the Green Deal. It's about safetiness, it's about happiness, it's about circularity, it's about innovation, ecology, and about social exchanges, because they are important as today's meeting. So now I hope that we are gonna see all the pictures. Okay. Well, yes, Levent, 10 years, he was living in a house that was built by my father. He was very nice person and working a lot on this very beautiful house. But the most beautiful thing about this house was the connection with the nature, because it's the last house in Dragalevci. You can very hard go to there when it's winter time.
I remember when I went there first time, it was dark. There was no light, nothing, but you could hear the river. And I heard the river and I said, I take it. It's in the morning at 5 a.m., millions of birds. You cannot imagine the noise they make. So it's really up there in the mountain where everybody does the marathon. Maybe you know this path. And horses pass, they are coming from the Dragalevci monastery, you know, they do the tours. Yes, I will. I have to pay, I know. So yeah, I mean, this is why actually it's not just about Bulgaria, but also the kind of quality of life you can have here. For me, living in Dragalevci was really great. I grew up in Istanbul. I lived in Brussels for 15 years. In the center, you know, at some point you are fed up of the guy who's singing "No woman, no cry" every day to the tourists. I listened to this for 10 years, you know. So when I came to Bulgaria the first time, you know, they said Manastirski Levadi is a beautiful place and it's very popular, and Kableshkov, penthouse, great. But you know, all these cars, the pollution. In winter, basically, you can see your face getting black. It's such pollution. So we immediately look for a place in Bojana first. We almost rented one, but we failed to rent it. But then, you know, by coincidence, I found this little piece of heaven up in the mountain. So I can recommend it. It's very peaceful, and believe me, you want to work. When there's no noise, there's no bother, there's no disturbance, you want to be creative. It's very, basically, there's just you and your thoughts. And I lived there with 3 dogs, and neighbors had, I think, 13.
And the neighbor's sons, he actually didn't start to speak, he started to rough because he was living with all these dogs.
There is also that, yeah. So basically, there are these pockets of little, I don't know, is it, how do you call this, pastoral way of living? Well, there are also some chiflik, you know, around, especially down in Dragalevci, right? Yes. There's a few with chickens and pigs and horses, cows, yeah. They run in the street.
I'm ready with the presentation. So let's start one more time. It was like rehearsal. Again, hello, my name is Margaret Trajkova, and you heard if you had a problem in municipality Vituša, I'm the person. I will tell you today about the joint project with these Austrian architects that we were working together 2 years, about hybrid workshops that are bringing together different people from different fields of life. So my task was to call a lot of people from municipalities, from business industries, and my colleagues, and to discuss different things connected to the Green Deal changes and everything that is gonna come to our life, to change of our life, everything that we signed as a contracts in 2030 and 2050, and this increasing the Bulgarian knowledge about the Green Deal, because many people in municipality didn't know what it was Green Deal. And in this 3D tool that I'm gonna present to you, we made changes in the urban environment, all connected to the Green Deal. These changes are about better ecology, increasing the social exchanges, and more innovation in our everyday life. So here are some of participants, politicians, mayors that were at the last workshops giving ideas what to change in municipalities, some NGOs, some professors, people in the estate business, and each workshop had a different purpose. In the beginning, we were giving information. Then we started by giving ideas and see how this 3D program will change our places, how will change our streets, how will change the facades, the 4 facades and the 5th facade of the building. And in the end, we will giving specific ideas what to change in municipality, what to change in our everyday life. With this measurement that is making, because it's very easy when you make change on free land. You can say to this 3D program, make me land that is having that percentage of the green space, that percentage of the building, but it's very hard when you make changes on already built area that you already know. As I told you, it measures quality of life. And because we need qualitable life, because we need more green spaces, and because Sofia is the #1 place in Europe for green places, but not on relaxing green places, not loaded green spaces, that's why we need to measure happiness, safety, innovation, profitability, and circularity. And we were talking about the hard way of bringing people from the city to the park, to the national park. And Drogalevci live that is close for so many years, but the only problem is not that it's close, but it is dangerous living it like this. And we were talking about the lack of normal drainage system, the lack of normal infrastructure, then can bring a lot of uncontrolled circumstances. And this is the street where me and Levent was living, and now I'm living. Just close to the nature, but without drainage, without normal lighting, without normal electricity, and everything that is going to bring us uncontrolled things. And in the last workshop, we were making changes on this place. And if you're a Sofia citizen, you know this place. This is Women's Market and Stefan's Boulevard passing through the market. And we made changes on this very crowded place that we are used with it and with all the problems that are living with us. And here, this picture is representing ideas by this 3D program and software, how to change it to be fully pedestrian or partly pedestrian, to have bigger sidewalks, to have more green areas, to have places where to park our bicycle, to have places where to charge electricity, motorcycles, to increase landscaping, to increase places for slow moving, to increase places for relaxation and revitalization, and to have different plantings that will bring us what we need. So if you want to prefer or to give more of something from these stages, this program is changing it. And because we are not talking about the public square spaces and the streets, because we all know we're gonna make them suitable, more green, we're talking about the whole ensembles of the building. So this 3D program is giving ideas what to do with the rooftops, these places that are empty for now on for doing anything there. So we can look after plants, we can look after herbs, we can look after vegetables and fruits, but we can also bring bees and hives on the top of them. We can make places where to discuss, we can have photovoltaic installation to bring energy to the street, to the building that is on the installation, and everything increasing all these measurements that I was saying about in the beginning. So we met each other in different online seminars, and we were discussing what will be the best to bring on our everyday life, how with the small changes we can create bigger reaction at our architecture, at our public spaces, at our municipalities, in our everyday life. So with these measurements, we can slowly move forward for better and quality life. And because of that, all this is with the great gratitude for the one that we come from, with all creators and all architects and even our families, to be very, very grateful to them. And also with the great responsibility for the architecture that we're gonna create and for the things that are gonna come, because we need the change and we are the change. And with all this program of increasing the knowledge of Bulgarian society, we can have, we can be more smart, and we can create architecture more smarter, and we can think of giving an ideas how to change places that we all know. And because this is the future, you know, this is my Alexander, full of energy, and I'm supposed to make him know what is sustainable architecture, and what is sustainable future, and what means green architecture. And this is my father, and this is my mother, and I'm very thankful to them and to Levent, to all of you today, because we are the change, we are the information, and I'm very happy to be here with you today. The change just started now.
The change is here. Absolutely. So Christiana is next. She will have a video.
Thanks. I'm the person who speaks the most, and I have a perfectly timed presentation, unfortunately. I did it myself, of course. You will now understand that architects not only like to speak a lot, but they also like to be the center of attention, which is also supported by my choice of outfit, obviously. Well, the presentation is not going, so I'll have more time to talk. In any case, I am Christiana, and I wanted to start the presentation, of course, with me. And the thing which I want you to remember throughout the whole presentation is that every building has a story. So, in our case, for me, this is my grandmother. This is the building of the kindergarten where she used to work. And even though that is a Soviet architecture, that building has a story to me. After that, that awkward teenager in the corner decided to go to England and study. As a 19-year-old architect, I really liked Zaha Hadid because there were no squares, everything was just super fluid and modern, and I really thought that was the future of architecture. After that, I went to Milan. And this is what this picture I call the natural habitat of architects. This is the patio of my university where we used to sleep, eat, study, sleep, and work some more. And actually, it's by Alvar Aalto. It's a very famous building. But even though I graduated in Milan, I really was mesmerized by old buildings. The building you are seeing now is the school in Hvojna, which is in the Rhodope Mountain. This is architect Bojan Chinkov, and this is my grandfather who used to teach in the said school. I embraced that as my own cause, and I decided after I graduated to open up the building and actually make 2 festivals in order to get some donations to save the buildings. This was the first festival which I organized, and there was a sequel the next year. There were a lot of people. There was like a cultural program outside, and there was all sorts of lectures and interesting things happening in the building, and that was the first time it had been open for over 10 years when the kids stopped going to the school. After that, I decided to create a foundation, which is called Daskal Brunzavov, and I decided that with the festivals I couldn't do a lot, so I started making small events and showing people buildings of extraordinary architectural quality. And the building of the school in Hvojna was the first one. My idea was that there had to be a digital place somewhere where all the information of interesting buildings were gathered, and not in the way like the national fund, because we do have a registry of buildings with importance, but I was imagining it to be a bit more innovative, where you could use GPS coordinates to actually find where the building is, which was a bit more expensive than I expected, so it didn't really happen, but maybe in the future I will find someone who can actually help me with that. Another project which had its first try this summer was the architectural tours. The first tour was in the village of Kosovo. The point is to show the buildings and actually have other activities which are complementary. So even though if you're not like a completely mad about architecture, you'll be able to do something else. I'm also part of the Buzuđa festival. I'm responsible for the coordination of the daily program. Not a very flattering picture, but the point is we are not communists, we love the building. The point is that the building has to be saved, and if you are more interested, you can come between the 8th and the 11th of August this year. Something interesting also which we did this year is the Heritage Forum, where I was also supporting the foundation. It was about in 2 days about management and storytelling of architectural heritage, and there were a lot of lecturers which attended. I know I spoke a lot about volunteer work, but I do also make money. So I actually do projects, interior and architectural projects, visualizations. I have my own company, which I founded this year. It is called Kanatica. I can tell you more about that later. The first project, which I am extremely grateful to the super cool visionary Matthias Zeidler. He is the person who decided to create this amazing nomadic utopia in the village of Semkovo, in the complex Semkovo. This is a 17,000 square feet Soviet socialistic architecture building. There is a lot of the building fabric which has to be saved, which is something which I'm extremely happy that Matthias also shares that idea that such such important gems in old buildings have to be saved. The point of the project is to make a fusion of the old and the new, which is something that I strongly believe has to be done. And the building is not that old. The building is 30 years old. And it is a great pleasure. We are also working with the son of the original architect and with other designers. And the point is that we want to bring life into something like that, and it will be home to 250 digital nomads who can either stay there or rent it, and in that way create a very vibrant community. So, and I'm responsible for the main areas in Block C. The first area we decided to work on is the common kitchen and the seating area. So, of course, you couldn't see the numbers in 20 seconds, but the point is that 145 people can pass in 1 hour and have their food ready and then sit and eat. This is the preliminary design we created with Matthias. So there are workstations for main meal station, light prep, snack stations, and everyone can work together, cook together, eat together, and do everything together more or less. I don't remember, is there another slide? Yeah, there's another slide. So, super cool building, project is amazing, and I'm really happy that it's my first project in my own company, and I will be very happy to see some of you maybe up there so you can actually experience the super cool nature and the awesomeness of the building that it is. Thanks. And me again.
Hello. Yuri? Martina? Oh, sorry. Yuri's here. Martina. Okay. Sorry. Martina, please come here because you're after him. Let's not lose you.
So how's everybody doing tonight? Hi everyone. In my presentation today, I'm going to talk a little bit about my studio and some of the projects we have done. And let us embark on this journey together, remembering that every groundbreaking project begins with a dream, and it's our collective passion and creativity that brings that dream to reality. So who am I? My name is Yuri. I've been creating immersive experiences in games for more than 11 years. I'm a programmer by trade. I've always wanted to make video games, so I left Dubai where I was working on government projects, among other stuff, and I came back here to Bulgaria to start my own video game studio, which I did, and now it's one of the fastest growing and most progressive studios in Bulgaria. We started off our dream with a game called Third Omen, and I'll be completely honest with you, we completely fucked it up. As the first project goes, right? So it's not released yet. Actually, what happened with Third Omen is that our ambition for this particular project grew and grew, and we realized that we are not capable of executing it yet. So everything that we have been doing since is in order to equip the studio to be able to handle a project of this magnitude. And we want Third Omen to actually be the first AAA game produced in Bulgaria. After we spectacularly failed Third Omen, we decided to try our hand at something completely different, which was VR games. And this is Spellpunk, our first officially released game, so you can call this project a success. For Spellpunk, we set ourselves two goals. First, we wanted to innovate on gameplay mechanics that were uniquely suited to VR, and we wanted to achieve a art style in VR that hasn't really been done up until then. Most people were going for photorealistic stuff in VR at the time, which the hardware still isn't ready. We decided to go with a comic book aesthetic that, you know, is pleasing to the eye, and people were still immersed with it. So for the first, whoa, time goes by fast. Okay, never mind. Next game, still a VR game. Our CEO is a Christmas fanatic. So after we released Spellpunk, she came up to me and said, "Can we make a Christmas game?" And I was like, "Well, we got about 2 months till Christmas, so yeah, let's do it." And that's how A Very Bad Christmas Eve was born. In this game, you're the very last elf in Santa's workshop, left on duty. And all the machines that run the operation smoothly start breaking down, and it's your turn to fix them and help, you know, Christmas Eve run smoothly and all the kids get their presents. It's basically a puzzle action VR game. Everything is Gone is our current project. After the VR gaming market basically slowed down a whole bunch, we decided to finally make a good game, or, you know, a decent game. So Everything is Gone is a first-person roguelike shooter. Heavily inspired by games like Doom and Quake and Unreal Tournament, if anybody of you here has played them. The art style is sort of a mix of brutalism and science fiction, which, you know, sort of puts it in a unique setting. And I'm not allowed to talk much more about it. I don't know why I dedicated 2 slides to it, but you can look at the pretty pictures. So just as we were getting the hang of doing VR games, one of the best videographers in Bulgaria approached us with his dream project, which turns out to be an anime football game, and he wanted us to make a trailer for it. And since both me and our art director are both huge anime nerds, we decided to take the project on. After all, how hard can it be to make real-time 3D look like an anime? Well, it turns out it's very hard, as we learned. But because our team adapts very quickly, we, in the end, managed to produce the entire trailer in about 2 months and release it. And it was released to, you know, people liked it. As you can see in Incineration, we do a bunch of different stuff. So when Rotary Club approached us to do an educational kids game, we were like, yeah, why the hell not? Let's do it. We went with a really cartoony art style suitable for the young children that were going to experience the game. At some point, Amdocs, which is a multi-billion-dollar company, contacted us, and we became their official metaverse partner. And we've been creating various VR experiences for them and their clients. These are screenshots from a VR experience we made for them that showcases their brand at different trade shows and expositions and clients. Unicard is, again, it's a big transportation company in the UK that we created an experience that showcases their brand's capabilities and what their business offers that they use for their different trade shows and exhibitions as well. We worked with Siemens on what I call a multi-user training simulation. Basically, it's a non-game with multiplayer, and it's meant to train new personnel on how to work and handle a 6 degree of freedom robot arm in VR in multiplayer. So basically, the instructor and the person who's being trained can be in different locations around the world. We also make, you know, other trainings and serious simulations. These are screenshots from a pharmaceutical clean room simulation we did for a Bulgarian client. and one of the most prestigious Bulgarian universities. In it, students can, okay, moving on. We also have several architectural projects. And in the architecture and design field, where again they're multi-user, they're meant for collaborative design and reviewing of architectural plans and models and what have you. And we're also in the automotive industry, where we're doing various XR and VR projects for both what I call standard cars and self-driving cars, which are basically the future, if you ask me. And yes, that's our logo on an actual racetrack suited Porsche that's racing currently on the back. So are you ready to make your dream a reality? I would love to talk to you and we can collaborate. Thank you.
Hi everyone. First of all, I'm really sorry because our presentation is in Bulgarian, but I wasn't aware that it had to be in English, so I'm gonna try to translate as best as I can. My name is Martina and I'm a graphic designer at New Age Social Poetry. At the beginning of the night, Levent introduced us as the Adams family, which I think is quite fitting because today I'm gonna tell you a story about how an underground literary movement became one of the most visited literary events in Sofia. Formally speaking, we are something of a free literary stage. We offer people the opportunity to share their poetry and other literary works with us. We have a digital magazine that comes out about one to every 2 months. It has a very interesting theme each month, and we also hold events live. However, we are also a literary movement that is kind of like a counterculture to what's popular at the moment. We try to go against the flow and we try to challenge people and their narratives. We try to invite a lot of different people to attend our events, and we're very happy because we get to collaborate with a lot of interesting people. However, in 2018, this is what our events looked like. They were quite small. We didn't have a lot of people coming in, and most importantly, we didn't have funding. And we couldn't do all of the things that we wished we could do. So we started applying for funds, mostly through the National Culture Fund and other organizations. And after winning a couple of projects, these are what our events look like now. We have a regular audience of about 150 to sometimes even 200 people, and we're very happy because we get to collaborate with a lot of interesting people. Yeah. Okay, this is a lovely editor team. As you can see, there's a lot of different people on here, and together with them, we took the initiative to rebrand the whole organization to give it a new look that's really modern and inviting to younger audiences so that they could feel like they had a stage where they could freely express themselves. So in around 22, 23, we rebranded the entire website with a new, clean-looking, kind of minimalistic design that was the perfect base for our other initiatives. Because as you will see in a little bit, our themes are very interesting and very different, and we try to kind of talk about things that people don't often talk about. So this is our current Instagram feed. As you can see, we've tried to create a very interesting kind of visual language that kind of serves as a really good base for all of the unique poetry that we get to publish, and we're very happy about it. But we're also trying to kind of challenge the perceptions of people with our very unique themes. As you can see, we don't stray away from the weird. We've talked about chauga, we've talked about cancel culture, we've talked about conspiracy theories, global warming, and so on. And all of the kind of visual materials are very different because in the end, this is what we have. These are some of our past issues. As you can see, they're quite unique, they're quite eye-catching, and we're kind of trying to create this modern new language that speaks to a younger audience so that we can get them to engage with our content more. We also kind of had the opportunity to collaborate with a lot of different people, and these are some photos from our recent events. We have a lot of actors, performers, We even have a drag queen on our team now. We've worked with circus artists and very, very different people who kind of create these very unique performances that we hold during our events. Our current creative team consists of a very lovely acting kind of group. We have 2 singers, a lovely photographer, and other kind of like people who deal with the technical aspects of the production, because what we create is very big and we kind of need the people. So this is basically what one of our issues looks like. This was our issue titled Cancel Generation. We try to create as much visual content as we can, not just the poetry things you saw a couple of slides back, but also very interesting posters. Later on, our acting team works with our editors to create a script that they then play out during our events. Sometimes they read poetry out loud, sometimes they kind of create these really weird but very fun performances for our audience, and we're very happy to work with them. We also kind of try to talk about current events worldwide. As you can see, this is our Cold War issue, where we felt like we really needed to address what was happening in the world, and we felt like younger people especially didn't feel like they could talk about it, so we tried to invite a wider audience to participate. But we also don't stray away from humoristic kind of themes like Chauga, which of course is very popular in Bulgaria, and actually a lot of people had a lot of things to say about it. Some of them not very good, but that was okay, because we were very happy to talk to them as well. And these are some of the things that have happened during our events. We had a drag show, we held a ball, we had various circus artists who kind of performed during our events. So as you can see, we're not afraid to get a little bit weird. But I think it's fun because reading poetry out loud can be quite boring. So we try to break it up a little bit. We also don't shy away from collaborating with different people and events. One of our latest initiatives was working with the people over at Ženski Pazar to create this event called Pazarate Poezije, the Poetry is the Market, where we invited people from the area to participate in one of our events. And this is us in numbers. We have about 6 events yearly. 17 new authors per year, 150 people plus come to our events, and we have about 11,000 readers each month on our website. And with that, I'd like to thank you and to invite you to one of our events, which is actually happening on the 23rd in Club Gramophone. It's somewhere central, so you'll be able to find it very easily. Thank you.
Nikolai is not famous for being fast. It takes him 10 years to make a book. Yeah. It took him 10 years to make a book, and it took him 2 weeks to create this event. So I think, what do I say? Every Bayer Budala needs a Chalumbay.
Okay, guys. So I'll try to jiggle with the timing because all the slides should have been playing properly, but no. So hi, I'm Nikolai, and I've been doing animation, 3D, and teaching. But what I want to tell you about today is PATE, people, art, technology, and education. So 4 things which I hope will get in the whole topic of my concept of life, because I've been trying to do animation for more than 25 years, but animation alone is really hard to do in Bulgaria if you want to make films. And what I've done for a long time to raise money or like to sustain my life is doing 3D graphics and architecture. So my mother was an architect, and it was my idea to study architecture, but they didn't want to accept me at the University of Architecture. So despite of that, I taught that university for 18 years. So usually that was the fun part in everyone first class. But I have taught to thousands of people literally, and what I'm trying to do now, because the part with architects, they are children at some point, and if they're crippled as children to explore ideas, it's really hard to teach them 3D and all different concept later on. So teaching children led me to working with this guy, finding this guy in Shumen. He's actually one of the best, if not the best, IT teachers in Bulgaria. So when I found him, I made a documentary about him. It took me 4 years, not 10. But documentaries are usually faster. And why did I do this documentary? Because of this huge monster. Though people don't realize it, the monster of ignorance. And it's currently taking away the brains of kids, making them like puppets of TikTok and all the other stupid things. So I decided that I want to make a movement, and this is what brings us together with Levent, that I want to create the best tools to bring the new generation of teachers into school, but also keep them there. Because the biggest problem with new teachers is keeping them in the education system. So here comes this book. And you think, why is a book a tool to bring teachers? Well, aesthetics is a tool. Aesthetics, the beauty of design. And architects is, for me, one of the most important parts. Unfortunately, people don't understand that things like how cities look, how rooms look, how schools look is something that brings to the quality of education. So currently, there's lots of things happening, but I want also, with this book, to establish 3D visualization as a separate profession. It's not design, it's not architecture, but you're doing those beautiful graphics. So I hope someday I will be able to teach with other people the other things, which aesthetics, design, but the practices of visualization with different experts. So all the people that are presented in this book have been at some point students of mine. So what happened, 3 years ago, I created this project to interview them on several specific questions related to design, but also 3D. So in the website, which is currently not running, hopefully someday, there are the interviews. But what I really am interested in the future of tech, because things which are happening right now, if Bulgaria misses those, like flying cars, they're coming in 2 years all across the world, really coming flying cars, really coming. Things like metal 3D printing, which is a space technology currently present actually in Sofia Tech Park. And I've been to all of these places, but at some point, people ask me, why are you coming back to Bulgaria? So I meet all sorts of people that are bringing me back to Bulgaria. So one thing that brought me in Dobrich was actually this documentary I made for teachers, and I saw the beautiful, beautiful park, which I told them, okay, yes, you have the best park in Bulgaria, and they didn't believe me. But I told them, let's make a film challenge. They said, do a project, and we made a film challenge. So out of this movie came the short film Kate, with Kate Nichols, and the director Strahil was here today. And maybe it's one of the reasons that Kate remained in Bulgaria, and people that this movie inspired is this girl, Probably you know this girl already. She's quite famous, and she's the third chance to have our astronaut, but the first woman to fly in space. And Tanya is from Dobrich, Tatiana. She had her talk about thanking her teacher back then, but finishing off my presentation, this is another book that we did. And you see this guy, Marin Trushanov, how things are connected. Marin, the writer, is actually the teacher of creative writing to Tatiana. So people are so connected that I decided whatever it takes when I have an inspiration about something. So this whole project was inspired by the art of Chudomir Dragnev, who is a really great sculptor. And COVID stopped that project to be showcased back in May 2020. We were supposed to do it here. So we thought about getting some other slide here, but the Dreamcatcher initiative was not able to be presented. So thank you very much for everyone. And Levent is going next.
No, just to comment and finish what you said. Actually, with Nikolai, we've been strategizing for 2 weeks, and we have very concrete deliverables, and this event was one of them. And we have some other, let's say, milestones on the way, and one of them will be to create a digital twin of the connections between Bulgarians. So professionally and personally, you will see on the map how you are connected. You know the theory of 6 degrees? I think here it's 3. I'm Turkish, so I say 3. For you, maybe it's 2. You know more people than me. The thing is, most of you, how many of you know me? So that's first degree connection. How many people know these people? It's 2, right? So it's either 2 or 3, but in the world it's 6. This is what I'm telling you. You have the luck of being a small country, a small population, and you are very well connected. But let's make the map. So if you are open to it, we will find a method to do this. I mean, whether it will be LinkedIn or another tool, there are some visualization tools about that. I think the most important capital you have in the world, I can tell you, it's not your family, it's not your school, it's your relations. So if you know who you are connected, you can always get things done. I said to Nikolai, I want to have a soap show. Let's have soap. I like it. And 1 hour later, we have a lady, and she says, okay, 250 levels, that's it. You see, if you know what we want, then you ask yourself the second thing, who will get that for me? We want to create this marketplace. And and he's been working for 10 years on a software to be able to find any film crew you need, any project you need. So we are also looking for collaborators, maybe investors who has money. But our intention is not only show slides, but to actually do something and take action. But without connections, I think you guys suffer from thinking that you can do everything on your own. This is the only thing we need, that's the only obstacle. You cannot do everything on your own. How many people worked on your film? Me, myself, and I. This is not possible. You have to work with others. Okay? So relations are very important. This is the most valuable asset capital you can have, social capital. So I have some theories about that as well, but the point is, let's make the map, let's see who's connected to who, and how to use it. Thank you. I don't know. There you are. Okay. Another thing, we are also professionals. Believe me, every one of my clients, her boss is my client for many, many years. It's an NGO, Trust for Social Achievement. You make friends with your clients. You convert them into assets. So when you make a show, you invite them and they send someone. I don't know, I didn't know that Petya works there. And I read your speech of finishing the university. I said, well, you know, I want to know this soul. This is how you get into relations, because once you can express your ideas, you will make more friends. So, Petya.
Thank you, Levent. I guess I'll follow up on your thoughts of being together. It is my honor and privilege to be here today and to speak about the Trust for Social Achievement. We are a non-governmental organization that has been around for more than 10 years. And our history, our work has been dedicated to the needs of disadvantaged groups in Bulgaria, with a focus on the Roma community. Maybe most of you do not know that more than 70% of the Roma community lives below the poverty line. So this is the focus of the work that we do. We aim to bridge achievement gaps and to provide everybody with the opportunity to be their best self, to be the best person they can be. And to that end, we implement programs in education, in employment, in entrepreneurship, aiming to boost academic success, kindergarten and school participation, quality of education, and economic participation. Basically, our goal is to lead people to economic independence, because this is what makes them sustainable in the long run. But we have to face many challenges, and you know many of those challenges. They have to deal with the stereotypes and the stigmas, and all the things that you keep hearing about. The Roma people do not like to work, they do not go to school, they live on social support systems. These are the external stereotypes that we fight with on a daily basis, and they become more and more aggressive. But there are also the internal stereotypes sometimes that the community holds about itself. People do not believe that they have a choice, they lack confidence, they do not believe in institutions. So confidence and trust take time to be built. Luckily, it turns out that time is on our side, and the research that we do in the years that follow show us that people bridge the achievement gaps, and more and more of them have high school education, 10% more in 2019 versus 2011, and many more of them actually are employed to that date. 43% of the Roma community is in employment versus a national average of 53%, so it's not such a large difference. But people get more educated, they get employed, and unfortunately, more and more of them leave Bulgaria. They seek better opportunities for themselves, they seek a better future for their kids, and this is where we step in. As an organization, we think of ourselves as the dream catchers, because our wish is to provide people with the opportunity. With the opportunity, as I said, to be their best self. We want to give them the choice. We want to give them the instruments to achieve dreams that they have not conceived previously. And today, I would like to share a couple of stories of young and not necessarily young people that we have helped on the way. People who dare to dream and achieve their dream. This is Ani Kovacheva, the young girl on the right. She's from Kyustendil. She's one of our American University scholars. She's in her second year in business administration, and not only is she a great student, but she's also a great volunteer for the community. Raya is a great teacher in a kindergarten in Bhutan. Bhutan is a village in northern Bulgaria. More than 90% of the population is of Roma descent there. And Raya is of Roma origin herself, so she's a great role model, and she says that the great part of her day is being told that she's loved by the kids that she takes care of. Patricia is a scholar of our Equal Chance program. She obtains support to go to finish her high school education, support for transportation and for textbooks. She loves to write, and she dreams of becoming a journalist, and she dreams of writing her own book of poetry. Nikola from Dupnica dreamt of having his own house, but he couldn't for many years. And through one of our projects, he could purchase a piece of land. And having his own land, he will have an ID, he will have a registration, and his children will have access to healthcare and to education. Emilian is a great example. Emilian is from Uryahovo, and he was raised by a single dad who told him that first you learn and then you play. And thanks to that rule, Emilian got a degree. He is one of our medical scholars. He got a degree in dentistry, and he's working on his independent practice. Alex from Rozlog is also an independent young woman. She's a business person who inherited the transport business from her dad, who unfortunately passed away. She lacked confidence, but we enrolled her in a business academy, and now she knows that the sky is the limit. Ivan from Sofia got married very, very early, so he continued his education at evenings and had to work during the days. He started studying English in one of our projects, in one of our employment projects, and now he teaches English to young kids, and he dreams of studying psychology. Last but not least, we have Ilian, who is one of our most charming entrepreneurs. He was raised by his mom in Sofia. He got mentoring and support through one of our programs, and now he runs 2 stores, and the tastiest banica in Sofia, I think you can get, is from Ilian. Not only individuals, these are all people that we know and love and we support, but it also, the more important part is that we do a lot of advocacy, because change on a large scale is achieved through the accumulated effort of a lot of people and a lot of organizations. One of our greatest victories was, we believe, removing kindergarten fees in 2022. And another victory that we believe we achieved through, again, very time-consuming and a very laborious process of advocacy effort was amending one of the ordinances for uninsured pregnant ladies. So now they have access to prophylactic exams and hospitalizations, because we know that every baby is important. And to achieve all that and to make it even bigger, we need support from organizations, from fellow NGOs, from individuals, from the government, and we're constantly on the lookout for people who believe in the things that we believe, that everybody has the right to be the best they can be. So I'm extending an invitation to all of you here tonight to join us in this effort. And if you wonder, what does this have to do with creativity? Creativity is the ability to match different colors and to create something beautiful. And collective effort, did you call it? Being together is creating something beautiful for all of us. So, well, thank you.
I have another way of... you know my mini, right? And Shabeki? Well, basically we are very good monkeys. So when we are together, that's actually, it's not that you are creative, but you are learning. Imagine a kid who learns in a poor house alone. My mother claims, as a baby, I never cried. Imagine a baby who never cried. And I say to her, you're imagining things. It's not possible. A baby doesn't cry. You're probably too busy to notice that I was crying. And probably at some point I gave up, you know. What I'm trying to say is that the group is very important. Basically, kids cannot learn on their own. It's impossible. So we need to create also ourselves the same environment where we can. I think somebody says, don't imitate, create, but you cannot create without imitation. Tell me one artist, the best artist, who didn't imitate another one. It's not possible. We are monkeys, so let's do it like they do on the Discovery Channel.
Okay, I guess I will introduce myself. Since I'm the last one, it's already almost bedtime. This is the fastest presentation I've ever created. I made it in 10 minutes, so I'm not sure what are the photos that are going to come up. But what I decided to do differently than other presentations I do about what I do is to focus on a story. Since when we're talking about dreams, we cannot really ignore the power of stories. So I'm going to explain my own personal story. So I'm going to reveal some personal photos. Some of them are very, very funny. And I'm going to see I'm going to picture my personal journey through the 12 stages of the hero being myself. It's not because I'm egocentric, but because I think that my story pictures what I do right now. So Every story of a hero starts in the ordinary world. I was born in 1989 in November, not a very ordinary month, in the city of Ruse. My pregnant mother was in the protests while my father, who was working for the police, was guarding the protests, or not sure. Well, as every hero in a regular story in a very ordinary place, there is a call for adventure. This is me and a friend of mine. He's not my brother, although we really look alike. Everybody says so. I should ask my mom. This is the call to adventure. I always knew, since I was very young, that I'm interested in the world. All I wanted was to explore the world. I became a very big fan of Indiana Jones at that time. As a little girl, I didn't like Barbie. I liked picture books with dinosaurs. Later on, my grandmother, who taught me to read when I was 3, brought me to some books. And here we go. Like, I took up the challenge, and although I had really bad luck, like spraining my ankle, losing my ID, I managed to fulfill my dream to travel, and I went to the US. It was a big challenge, my first travel abroad, all alone. I was 18 on a program that lasted 2 months. And I had the best mentor to support me on the way. Just when I was crossing the threshold, and as I mentioned, this was my grandmother. It wasn't any of the great professors I met in the US, nor any of the politicians that they introduced us through this program. It was my grandmother who taught me how to read when I was 3, who taught me how to bargain in the market, and how to buy stuff using the little amount of money she was giving to me. So this is financial literacy, entrepreneurship, proactivity, and also some very important life lessons, how to tell your friends from foes, and also not to waste your time running after buses or men. So basically, like every hero in every story, I had my own path of searching my purpose. I studied business. I lived in totally different places culturally. And I kind of fulfilled my dream and my dad's dream to play at least one football game in my life, since he has 2 daughters and is a big football fan. So I did a bunch of different things. I worked in the IT sector. I worked for an intergovernmental organization. I worked for NGOs. I moved around countries every 4 to 6 months. And then I found my calling. So I was in China. One of the previous photos was from there, lost in the rice fields in a very poor place, when I realized that a lot of us in Bulgaria complain about the life we have comparing to more developed economies, but actually very often we don't see the ones that really struggle, like this lady carrying those stones. So basically, I decided that I know my mission in life. So I started applying to every possible international organization. I had 245 applications to everything from UN to World Bank, and one of them worked. So I was actually working for 2 years for an international development organization in Vienna when I realized that I really feel the calling of actually growing or failing at what I'm doing, because I was working for people who were doing projects, great projects in very interesting places in the world, places that really need a lot of support. But I missed something. I missed the purpose, because I was doing this administratively in my very fancy office in Vienna, by the way. It was a castle. And then I realized that what is missing for me is the necessary thing to come back to my roots and to return to my own community, or to fulfill my dad's wish to change what I don't like in Bulgaria. Because I was one of those Bulgarians that wanted to be outside of Bulgaria at any cost. So what happened in my life were a few things. After I had found my calling, I decided to bring it to Bulgaria. So for 4 years, I was working with very many great organizations, such as the Trust for Social Achievement, and I personally know some of the people from those photos. And they gave me a lot of inspiration and a challenge. And 3 years ago, I embarked on a new journey that was kind of a return to the roots. And I became part of the team of Junior Achievement Bulgaria. We're an organization that is 27 years old in Bulgaria. I myself have been one of the stories on their slides some years back in time as a participant in their startup program. And what we do is educational programs focused on building transferable skills for young people to be inspired and prepared to succeed in the world. We do this through partnership with companies, with business mentors who are volunteers, with other NGOs that are interested to work with us in the field. And hence, since the Africans say we need a village to teach a child, since we work with quite a lot of schools around the country, I'm sure that each and one of you can contribute to what we do and become a story writer in our own story. Did I manage to fit? So I'm available if you're still awake after this brief story to tell you a little bit more about what we do and to maybe dream together this systematic change that I see every one of us wants to do and to achieve through our work as architects, creators, dreamers, and bayırbodalas. I'm one of those.
We have a very short, quick one. Victor is going to share with you what he's working on. After that, just 5 minutes, just to hear you, if you have feedback and questions for us or comments, so that it can go in history that you are here and you had something to say. Thank you. Victor.
Thank you for the invitation me to talk to this audience. My name is Victor Hirmak. I'm founder of the company Ordinal Goods, and it's a place where real-world assets and metaverse meet. So in the company, we provide a unique way to combine real-world assets, like works of art, with an NFT and with a metaverse. We integrate the real-world assets with NFT with help of the Bitcoin technologies. So it's an example how it works. It's a case of our customer. He's the potter. He's made the potters, and he issued on our platform 1,000 megs, and our client. Sorry. Yeah, back, please back. And it means that his assets has a place in the metaverse and in internet, and many his customers are eligible to redeem these goods, this Mac, from the internet against of the getting of NFT. It's happening on our platform. The benefit of our platform: everything made on the Bitcoin with the same security as you manage Bitcoin. And then we facilitate you the lot of our experience on the platform. And also we can provide for your business and you crypto audience. So let's connect after my speech if you're interested to leverage you real world assets, you arts on the with help of Bitcoin on the Bitcoin network. So that's all.
We have to close the evening. The cake is ready, so we need to go to the bar. They're asking me whether we should cut it and serve it already. Okay? Yes, cut it. But I want to show them the bayırbodalar picture. It's a bayırbodalar cake. Okay, see you in a minute. Okay, we have to wrap up here. So, questions, feedback. What do you think? Shall we do this again, or shall we wrap up and go home?
Yeah, of course, again with less presentations for night.
Okay, but we couldn't say no. Yeah, but the format is not very interactive, so I think it's up to us to make it interactive after the party. So like you said, okay, feedback. We make it not 20, 10. 10, 1 hour, 1 hour 10, and then, but you promise to stay and talk to each other and not leave afterwards. Okay. Yeah, but okay. The bar is there. The cakes are waiting. We just need to go now. Any other feedback? Feedback. Anybody who wants to come up and say something? How do we do it? We give a break.
No break between the lectures.
Yes, that's how it should be. Yes.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Well, how difficult was it to get the presentations? You cannot imagine.
I know, I do.
Everything is last minute, you know?
It was the same last year, they were coming with
So if the artists, the creators could send their presentations 3 days in advance, we appreciate that. Thank you. Okay?
And also to say what do you want, what do you need. Do you have anything that you want to share, or not only to share, but what do you want from the others?
Well, this is what we want to do during networking, but as I said a few times, we should organize meetings for that specifically. So we will create some working groups and announce it to you so that, I will make sure that we have that conversation. That's why we are doing this, okay? So the presentations are just an excuse to see something interesting. So please, if you're going to make a presentation or if you have something interesting, come forward. If you know interesting projects, talk to them. Yes? So we want to have, basically from now on, the curator role is to choose the best. So that it's worth coming here for an hour. But the actual working, I think we need to group together, because as you see here, it's a mix. And I don't think everyone can have the same conversation. So we need to maybe, but we'll work on this, okay? That's a promise. Anything else? From the back? How about volunteers? Would you like to come and work with us? Yes. Okay, okay. But you're going to Sweden, you said. Okay, so we will have volunteers. We will make a call. Please contact us. I can post you. Okay. Where was perfect? Campus X. Campus X? No. Where? Perfect. Dondukov, is that okay? For meetings? All right. Or you come to my house for a barbecue in Dragilevs. Sylvia, tell them about my work.
Great experience. This is what you'll get there.
Okay.
Gourmet barbecue.
No, different people come. So if you participate also, that can be extension of the networking.
Maybe like an experiment, mix two very opposite topics, let's say accounting and acting.
Man from Mars, woman from Venus, you say. Okay. Okay, we can do a Nikolai, what do you think? We can do a battle? Battle Royale.
Oh, battle.
By the way, I saw your teacher going out, and I thanked her for teaching you on your birthday. Did you thank her?
So Borjana Mincheva was my teacher from New Bulgarian University, and because of her, there were her 2 students, production designers. So I just want to wrap it up, guys, because Levent has so much invested in this. But in order for this to happen, to continue, we need support, volunteers. We need support as spread the word, find us the next speakers. This is really important, which hopefully will deliver some slides on time. But yeah, it's best to have the slides, to have the stories, and timing is, as you see,
it's all about time.
it will happen. Let's go and eat cake, guys.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye bye. See you in the bar, Climb Bar, in the Voltopia building.